Thank you so much. That was really wonderful, and we really enjoyed ourselves, especially the seeds of joy and peace. And I don't know if there's a question that is coming up, but if there's someone who has a question, they can please ask. But I think I'll take the opportunity. I want to know exactly, you said Navdanya is 9 seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you tell us exactly why you chose the word 9 seeds and what these 9 seeds are?
Okay. So I mentioned that I was at a meeting in 1987 where the industry said we are now going to patent seed, own it, and do genetic modification. And they said there'll be no seed left in the hands of farmers. They'll have to buy seed from us every year. And when you have a patent, you take a rent. That's what I call beach lagan. Like the British took lagan, this is lagan. And I said, no way, no way. So I started to save seeds. That is 87. I just called it the Beach Bachao Andolan, saving the seed movement. And it would have been around 1990. I was on a seed collection trip down south. I was doing a lot of work in the south that time. I'd worked in Indian Institute of Science before, Indian Institute of Management. And so I had a lot of students, I had a lot of colleagues. And I did this collection in an area where no one dared to go because of a bandit called Birappan with big muchas. Used to control the area. So no one went with chemicals. No one went with new seeds. So I said, there I'll find seeds. So I went, and there was this, and I'd done this Punjab study where it was one season only rice, another season only wheat throughout Punjab. And I'm traveling and walking and seeing, and I count this little field with 9 crops. And I count the 9 crops, and then a tribal comes out whose field it is. I said, wow, we are growing 9 crops. And he looks at me and says, Navdanya. Yeah, I had no idea, So I said, and what's that? And you know what? He gave me the most sophisticated discourse on harmony. He said the 9 planets, because in India we have 7 planets and Rahu and Ketu to get the accurate astrological predictions. So the 9 planets in the cosmos, the 9 seeds in my field, and the balance of health in my body is one continuum of balance and harmony, and it is my duty to maintain it. That is why I plant 9 seeds. So Navdanya, I said that day, forget seed saving as a big word. I'm going to call it Navdanya. But Navdanya has another meaning. Navdanya means 9 seeds as a dhan, but dhan is the gift. So it is also the new gift. So when I'm telling you, young minds to cultivate compassion, that is the new gift the world is asking us to cultivate. That's what Navdanya means.
Great, that is so wonderful. I think it's really a message that we need to pass on to loads of people about the gift being, within us as well as for us to grow. That's nice. Navdanya was fantastic. Great.
Superb. Yeah, it's just too beautiful and superb.
And you can go to the website of navdanya.org and you will find more about all this. We have a very special youth program. We work a lot with schools. We work a lot with youth leaders. So we would be so happy with your network and your platform to deepen this learning, because it's a learning for their lives. It could be COVID, it could be climate change, it could be economic collapse, it could be dictatorship. It doesn't matter. These are things you have to do no matter what is happening around.
Wow. That's so wonderful and so inspiring. So thank you so much for your wonderful words to us, for inspiring our kids. And I'm sure we've learned just too much. I was waiting for this session and it has really satisfied me. So thank you so much, madam.
Wow, that was wonderful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think you need to mute yourself so that, thank you so much. So, Aditya, that was wonderful, and there's already a question over there for you, and I think it's for both of you that comes in. How did these youngsters overcome the resistance from the society, which generally tends to dictate the course of action by flooding children with questions? Can any one of you just reply to that? I think Aditya, you take that first.
All right. I think there's certainly resistance towards pretty much everything. Whenever you make a solution, whenever you make anything, there is some kind of a resistance that comes from society, your peers. I mean, when I started out, my teachers, my peers discouraged me, but I persisted. I think persistence is the course of action that would be taken here. And where there's so many instructions and everything, see, at the end of the day, what you have made is your invention. They are not going to change what you have made. It's all up to you what you want to do. See, there's multiple paths, right? One path can lead to infinite kinds of probabilities, and it's up to you to choose which probability to go ahead with, and come up with solutions. I mean, any kind of solution, and it's up to you whether to overcome this resistance. It's your own motivation that will help you battle it out.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. And Hasini, would you like to take that on?
Sure. I mean, what he said is absolutely true. So as far as now, right, I have listened to so many of young achievers' stories. So, when I started this venture, I refer them to as young achievers. That's children who had achieved at a young age. When I started, I had no idea that these kind of people even exist. But now, if I see, there are so many young talents who had brought up, who are being an inspiration to them. So that's what I serve for, to spread the message of the first step to many more other people. But now coming to answering this question, society, it not only criticizes, not only for children, but if you even take people in general, right? Even if you're 20 or 21, if you want to start a new initiative, people are going to criticize you. It's only because they've closely noticed what you're doing. So for me, criticism, I take it in a positive way, probably, which helps me to correct the mistakes which I do. But if it's going to be way too personal, I would try to avoid it. Being a social influencer, especially, my very own family members, weren't sure if I would actually want to get into social media at such a young age, because this society has portrayed social media into the negative side, right? Our ancestors, or probably this whole system now, didn't know what social media could create an impact in a positive way, right? For me, I've been on LinkedIn for the past 5 months. I've already got about 3,000 plus followers. I never knew that I would have such a great followers. I used it efficiently because my parents taught me that this might really give me a reach, and it will be helpful for me to spread this message. So if people can change this mindset, automatically the people, that's our generation, would follow the same, investing the same mindset into their children, into the next generation. Right?
That's good. Thank you so much. There's a I think Aditya has asked, who was your role model?
My role model probably would be my dad, because he comes from a no background family. He became an entrepreneur himself. People take business as a choice, but he wanted to do business, wanted to become successful as an entrepreneur. And not only he's not only an entrepreneur, but he's also an author himself. He has written a book called Sales Success Secrets. So I get my inspiration from my parents. So my dad supports me physically, or on social platforms through his connections, but my mom is like my mental support. So probably them. But apart from them, I'm so inspired by Kumarvel sir, the founder of Naturals. So he's a very successful, a great entrepreneur, a great speaker himself, and also Sujit sir, who is the founder of Martin Foundation. he is the very first person whom I was inspired. So I would really thank him. I would take this opportunity probably because he was the one who invested this art of public speaking. Because after seeing him, I wanted to truly become a public speaker, inspire children, especially through my talks. So probably these three people would be my inspirations, and I'll also leave my links down in the chat so that if anybody's interested, they can check it out. And also, I've done multiple sessions with schools and colleges. So if anybody's interested, you can give me an opportunity to probably interact with many people. So yeah, thank you.
That's nice. I think someone's asked you to share your email IDs. You can do that. The channels are there. Thank you so much. Now, if there's no question, I'll ask you just I have a couple, and one is that you've done a lot of interviews. Now, in these interviews, name two that you found really interesting, and is there an interview that you would call a dream interview, and who would that be?
Okay, so I interviewed a person called J. Lakshmi. So she comes from a small village which is very unknown, and she doesn't have a dad. Her mom is mentally challenged. She serves the whole family. She works as well as she educates herself, but not only her, but her brother as well. One day, somehow she reached to a poster, which was an examination to NASA. She wrote the exam through online. She was selected. She got a reach up to be the number. She got a position on number 2 worldwide, and she got an opportunity to go to NASA. But one problem occurred, which was that she couldn't raise money to travel. That's the flight, expenses and stuff. So she now raises funds. Asks for sponsors and raises funds. That way she can reach up to the money, and she also gets funds. Then what happens is, another organization is ready to help her, but she's already got all of her expenses which she needed. But they asked if they could build a new looking house for her. That way it's helpful for them, because their house is I don't know if you can understand, it's called a kura veedu in Tamil, which is like a hut, a very small house, a very vintage looking house. But she denied, asking if they really wanted to help her, please help us building toilets in our village. That village didn't have a single toilet. Those people there would have to use the forest. So this is a village which is nearby a forest. So they'll have to use the forest in order for them to eat. So it was that difficult. And this girl, helped the whole village, building up 106 toilets, if I'm right, in the whole village. So she created that difference. But due to COVID situations, it wasn't possible for her to travel to NASA. But I hope she does travel.
That's so nice. That is so wonderful, and I'm sure that you enjoyed interviewing her. I'd like to ask Aditya. He said, "The world a better place," which was a fantastic. That was a very powerful word that he said. The world a better place. Aditya, I'd like to know, how do you think every child can help in making this world a better place?
Well, like I said before, I feel that kids are much more innovative than adults because they do not have that fear of failure. And because they don't have that fear of failure, they are able to innovate more, they're able to create more and solve more problems. And I did mention about Ikigai also. If every child in this world follows their Ikigai and solves problems, imagine a world with no problems. I mean, every child has the potential to make the world a better place. If every child did follow their passion, if every child did follow their ikigai or their purpose for being, the world would be a completely different place today. It would be much better than what it would be now.
Just to add on a few keys, it of course depends on the child, her initiative towards her passion, but the society, the parents will also have to ensure that they invest the right thing into their child. That way, that child, when they grow up being successful, will invest the same into their children, making the next generation a better place to live as well.
That is so wonderful, and we've come to the end of the session. I think time has just flown, and there'll be a lot of people who want to still ask questions, want to chat, but I think paucity of time is there. I'd like to thank our esteemed speakers. However small they are, they were wonderful. They were power packed. I think both of you are power packed, and everyone is so proud of having you over here and speaking to us. We look up to you, and thank you for sharing your details. And I'm sure that the students over here will definitely, all those who are partnering with us will definitely like to get in touch with all of you. I'm also very grateful to all the audience for joining us today for this session. I'm sure you have taken a lot of takeaways, and I'm sure you've enjoyed yourself. Tomorrow, once again, we're going to meet at 5, sharp at 5, with another set of guest speakers. Thank you, and this was wonderful that each one of us could enjoy ourselves and speak to each other, and and really relish the time with these great entrepreneurs and these young minds. All right. So once again, thank you so much for joining us in this young minds, a masterclass with young change makers, powered by the Smart Class. Thank you, everyone, and good night. Have a nice day. God bless.
Could we give them a little standing ovation? I think they deserve it, both of them.
Yeah, I think you can do that. You could do that. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
To learn from you.
Yeah.
We
Bye,
still
everyone.
have.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, madam.
So,